Hi guys, this is Rick and Nick from Pure Elements Water. We are here today to show you how to change out your tri-chamber apparatus in your Healthy Home Solutions system. The first thing you need to do is to take your system completely offline. You start by putting the system in bypass. Simply turn the two red handles so the arrows on those are pointed into each other. This has taken the unit completely off service. The next thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to depressurize the system so it's easy to work on. We do this by putting it into a backwash. You simply hold the up and down arrows until the system begins its backwash and you hear the motor move. At this point, the pressure has been released from the unit, and now we're ready to unplug it from the wall. Our next step is to disconnect the drain line. There is a C-clip or cotter pin. It will be either red or black on your unit. Remove the pin and the drain line lifts straight up from the top of the head. You may have some excess water, so have a towel ready for this process. The next step is to disconnect the system from the bypass by loosening the nuts on both the inlet and the outlet. Generally these are hand tight, but if your system has been in for a few years, you may need to use a pair of channel locks for the first eighth of a turn. Once those are disconnected, you simply pull the unit from the piping, and now we are ready to perform our replacement of our tri-chamber apparatus. So to go ahead and change out our tri-chamber apparatus, we need certain things. First, obviously, the apparatus. Secondarily, we need a bucket. We need a gallon of muriatic acid. We need a 3/4 inch PVC coupling, a pair of pipe cutters, and PVC glue. It's time to disassemble our unit. We start by unthreading the control valve from the tank. This will take about 4 or 5 turns, and then it will lift out from the unit, and you can see the old tri-chamber apparatus is attached to the valve, and also what we call the riser. So we lift the entire riser and control valve and catalytic water conditioner apparatus out of the tank. Disconnect the tri-chamber apparatus from the control valve. And pull the control valve off the top of the entire assembly. The next step is to remove the apparatus from the riser. So you just simply work the riser out of the old apparatus so that you can discard it. I will tell you that sometimes to disconnect the apparatus from the control valve, it may be beneficial to have a set of channel locks if it's been several years since this procedure. You're great to go ahead and throw away the old tri-chamber apparatus just right directly in the trash. Now we have the riser with our proprietary catalytic water conditioner in it. The second step in this process is to clean the catalytic water conditioning core. This is best done with a mixture of muriatic acid to water. So we fill our bucket up with about 4 gallons of water, and we add 1/2 gallon of muriatic acid to the water to clean our core. Obviously, be very careful in handling muriatic acid. Be sure to wear eye protection and follow all the instructions on the bottle. Our next step is to cut our riser with our pipe cutters so that we will be able to submerge our catalytic conditioner inside the formula that we've created in the bucket and allow it to soak and clean the catalytic conditioning core that is inside. Be sure to leave at least 1 inch of riser sticking out of the bottom of the conditioner so that you will be able to glue a coupling on it when you put it back together. Now simply submerge the catalytic conditioner in the muriatic acid and ensure that it fills the tube. Be sure to submerge the catalytic conditioner in your bucket in our solution and allow this to soak for at least 5 minutes to properly clean the catalytic core. Okay, you can see as you lift your catalytic conditioner out of the solution, you can see the cleaning that's taking place and the discolored water that's coming out the bottom of it. Once the water coming from the system is clear as you lift it and reinsert it, you know that your process is completed. Now it's time to remove the riser and the catalytic conditioner from the bucket. Wash it off with water and run water down the center tube for a final rinse. Next, dry off the catalytic conditioner and the remaining riser so that we can go ahead and glue the bottom end back on with our coupling. Any PVC glue will do. We like the clear. Be sure to coat the pipe and the coupling. Insert it completely. Always good to insert and turn about a half a turn for a proper cement connection. We're going to let this dry for a couple of minutes to ensure a proper connection on the riser. For inserting the tri-chamber apparatus back onto our riser pipe, we prefer Molykote 111. However, any non-petroleum lubricant will work for you, and you can get that at your local hardware store. The next step is just simply to take a rag and clean out the interior as well as the exterior of the control valve head, just to make sure everything's clean in there for the new component. And what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and use lubricant in all 3 areas. So we're going to start with the interior where the tube slides into the head. Just a dab will do you on this. Then we're going to go ahead and lubricate the external portion of the control valve where the apparatus clicks onto it and the lip of the control valve. And last but not least, the O-ring where the control valve seats onto the head. This will make your job a lot easier if you can lubricate these different areas on the control valve. As we get ready to assemble everything, we're going to lube the O-ring on the apparatus also. Works best to do both ends, so if you can get the inside of the bottom also, that will help slide it down the riser tube. Next, we're going to go ahead and click the apparatus back onto the control valve. Okay, we're ready to reinsert our riser with our catalytic conditioner in it. Keep in mind that we are driving this through media in the tank. There is still water in the tank to make this as easy as possible. We take our hose and drive water through the riser to help drive it down into the media and all the way down, back down into our tank. The riser is properly in position when it's about 1 inch above the neck of the jacket. In some cases, it might not be possible to get your riser all the way down. In that case, use your pipe cutters and you cut 1/4 inch to whatever you need off of the top, and things will operate properly. Now we're ready for the final part of reassembly. We're going to slide the head and the tri-chamber apparatus over the riser tube down into the tank. Obviously do this in a place where you can have water flowing. This is not a good process to do in your living room. Spin the head and the apparatus in a clockwise manner as you ease it down in until the threads can connect at the top of the tank. Again, a reminder, do everything clockwise. If you go counterclockwise, you risk unattaching the apparatus from the control valve, and that will be problematic. As you see now, the threads have connected and we are putting the valve back onto the tank. And this can be done without the use of any tools, just simply hand tight. Now that we've completed the replacement of our tri-chamber apparatus, we need to put the system back online. We start by lining it up with the bypass assembly and feeding the pipes in, and you'll note that the nuts literally thread on by hand, both the inlet and the outlet. Next will be to place the drain into the head and replace the clip after you have your nuts tight. Note this is all done without the use of tools, and you can do this with your bare hands. The next step is to plug the unit back into the wall and go ahead and advance it using the up arrow. You can see it's moved to the C4 cycle. We will advance it one more time to complete the backwash process. Now we're ready to introduce water into the unit again. We are going to slowly open the right hand valve all the way, and then we're going to push the up and down arrows to start a backwash again. Note, the left hand arrow has not been touched. The left hand valve handle stays in a perpendicular position because we want to backwash the unit without any water going through it into the house. We let this run for 1 minute, and then we advance it by tapping the up arrow. We let this run for another minute, and the display is C4, and then we tap the up arrow again. Now that the unit has reset, we are ready to open the left-hand valve and put the system in complete service. This is the position the valve should be in when your system is operational. And then we run to the closest faucet in the home and run it for 5 minutes to clear the air and other things that happen with this type of a service. So if you have any questions, please feel free to call us along the way. We hope this has been very helpful for you, and thank you very much for listening and watching.